Chosen one, listen closely. This message is not for everyone. It's for the one who's been feeling the silent warfare around them, the subtle resistance, the unseen hands trying to twist what God ordained for good. You've noticed the shift in the atmosphere. Plans that once flowed easily started meeting sudden obstacles. Relationships changed without explanation. Doors that seemed certain began to rattle. But here's the truth. The Spirit is speaking now. The enemy's plan has failed. What was plotted in darkness has already been dismantled by light. What was whispered against your name in secret rooms is being overturned by heaven's decree. The very trap that was meant to ensnare you is becoming the stage for your vindication. You may not have seen it yet, but the evidence is forming in the unseen. The same God who watched your tears also watched their schemes, and He intervened long before you even knew what was at stake. That's why certain things fell apart unexpectedly. Not because you lost, but because God refused to let you walk into a setup disguised as an opportunity. The Spirit of the Lord says, "Fear not." The exposure has begun. Everything that tried to operate against your calling is being revealed not to humiliate others, but to liberate you. For too long, false alignments have hidden behind friendly faces. But heaven is shining a divine light that leaves nothing concealed. The counterfeit connections, the manipulative influences, the draining distractions, they are all being brought into view. You've wondered why the warfare has intensified lately. It's because breakthrough always provokes exposure. When destiny draws near, deception starts to tremble. And now, as heaven's trumpet sounds, every shadow is being chased out by the light of truth. This is not the end of your story. This is the divine unveiling of your protection. So lift your head. Breathe deeply. You're not under attack anymore. You're under revelation. The storm you thought would destroy you is now revealing who truly stands with you and who never did. You're not being punished, you're being positioned. What the enemy meant for evil, God is already rewriting into testimony. Stay attentive, chosen one. Because what's coming next is not just revelation, it's redemption. Heaven is about to show you why the opposition had to rise, and how every hidden plot is being turned to your favor. What you're feeling right now, that strange mix of peace and shaking, is heaven's signal that the unseen realm is in motion. You didn't imagine the warfare. You didn't exaggerate the heaviness. But what the enemy underestimated was the covering over your life. Long before this battle surfaced, God had already issued a decree of preservation. The proof of that decree is that you're still standing. You see, when darkness formed its counsel against you, heaven sat in silence for a time. Not because it was unaware, but because divine justice often allows the plot to ripen before it is exposed. The Father waited until the enemy overreached, until the deception grew so bold that its own arrogance became the instrument of its collapse. That's why it's happening now. The time of quiet endurance is ending, and the time of holy revelation is beginning. Listen carefully. This exposure isn't chaos. It's choreography. The same God who separated light from darkness in the beginning is once again drawing the line. What looks like disorder is actually divine order rearranging itself. The shaking you sense is the sound of the scales of heaven, balancing what was wrong. Every false word spoken, every betrayal masked in politeness, every assignment of confusion. He's pulling it all into His light. There is an authority in this moment that doesn't come from shouting or striving. It comes from stillness. When you refuse to panic, you mirror the calm of heaven. That calm terrifies the enemy because it proves his tactics failed. You don't need to fight fire with fire. You carry the wind that extinguishes it. God is saying, be still and watch. He's not asking you to expose people to defend yourself endlessly or to prove your innocence. The exposure that's coming is authored by His Spirit, not your effort. What's hidden cannot survive the brightness of divine truth. And in that light, you'll recognize something sacred. God never needed to explain what He was protecting you from. He simply blocked it. Remember those sudden redirections, the ones that hurt the ones you questioned. They were not rejection. They were rerouting. He saw the ambushes you couldn't. He heard the conversations you weren't invited to. Every disappointment was a detour engineered to save you time, energy, and destiny. Even now, the angels assigned to your life are moving strategically. They are not reacting. They are enforcing. They carry scrolls of judgment for what was plotted against you. And they also carry blueprints for what comes next. You are not watching a tragedy unfold. You are witnessing justice being served in real time. So let your heart be still. Let your faith breathe again. The God who spoke galaxies into being is the same one dismantling lies spoken against you. His authority has no rival, and His timing never falters. The exposure is not to embarrass, it's to elevate. You will rise from this not bitter, but brighter, not wounded, but wiser, not broken, but built. Because when God exposes a plot, He also reveals a plan, and that plan is about to unfold in your favor. What's being revealed now isn't just the failure of the enemy's plot. It's the unveiling of heaven's counterplan. For every trap laid, there is a divine setup rising. The hand of God is turning what was meant to silence you into the sound of testimony. The same environment that was hostile to your growth is becoming the soil of your promotion. In the unseen realm, a decree has already gone forth. No weapon formed shall prosper. And that is not poetic comfort, it is spiritual law. The prophecy being unveiled is that the very schemes that were designed to collapse your confidence are being used to crown your authority. What tried to bury you is now becoming proof that you were never ordinary. You have been walking through a season that felt like contradiction. Promises spoken over your life seemed delayed. Support you expected suddenly vanished. But in the spirit, this delay was never denial. It was divine disguise. God allowed the pressure so that false attachments could not travel with you into your next chapter. He permitted certain losses to make room for pure alignment. And now, as the smoke clears, the truth emerges. You are being refined, not rejected. Heaven is saying, the hidden work is complete. The days of uncertainty are giving way to clarity. The fog that clouded your discernment is lifting. You will soon see with striking accuracy who was for you and who was merely near you. The veil is torn, and what was once confusing will suddenly make sense. Every betrayal, every delay, every restless night is now being reinterpreted through divine hindsight. But this unveiling is not only about exposure, it's about elevation. When God uncovers what was false, He simultaneously reveals what is true. The truth is, you carry an anointing that drew opposition precisely because it carries impact. Hell doesn't waste resources on those without purpose. The warfare you endured was a compliment in disguise, a sign that your destiny frightened darkness. And now the prophecy unfolds. God is positioning you where your voice will matter, where your presence will carry weight, where your obedience will shift atmospheres. The platform may not look like what you expected, but it will carry the reach heaven designed. The rejection that stung was actually redirection toward divine relevance. You are about to be seen by those heaven intended all along. There will be moments soon where what once resisted you begins to cooperate with you. Environments will change their tone. People who dismissed you will recall your words with conviction. Opportunities that bypassed you will circle back. This isn't coincidence, it's divine reversal. The wheel of destiny is turning, and the motion cannot be stopped. And here lies the beauty of this prophecy. God didn't simply block the enemy. He used the enemy's own moves to build your momentum. Every false accusation refined your integrity. Every delay taught you patience. Every loss deepened your empathy. You didn't just survive, you evolved. And heaven is about to make that evolution visible. Do you feel the stirring within your spirit? That subtle awareness that something immense is approaching? It's not imagination, it's confirmation. Angels have gone before you to prepare divine encounters, strategic connections, sudden favor. The currents of grace are shifting to carry you into visibility. But this visibility is not fame, it's purpose revealed. You are stepping into the phase where private obedience meets public manifestation. The years of hidden faithfulness are echoing before God as incense. And heaven is responding saying, now. Now is the unveiling. Now is the revealing of what was planted in darkness to bloom in light. Now is the season when the enemy's failed plan becomes the foundation of your victory. And when you look back on this chapter, you will realize nothing was wasted. Every tear watered the seed. Every battle shaped your armor. Every silence prepared your voice. The unveiling is both your vindication and your invitation to walk boldly into the destiny that's finally opening before you. Because the plot has failed. The disguise has dissolved. And what was hidden in you is ready to be revealed through you. What you're witnessing is not just a sequence of events, it is a spiritual pattern, a divine choreography meant to teach, refine, and elevate. The enemy's plots are like storms on the surface. But beneath the waves, God is shaping currents to carry you to your appointed place. The pressure you felt, the walls that seemed to close in, and the doors that remained locked were never punishments. They were lessons in alignment. Think of it as a river carving a canyon. The water flows relentlessly, often against rock and resistance. The obstacles seem immovable, yet every obstruction shapes the path, forming depth and character. So too, your journey has been shaping your inner life. Every challenge, every betrayal, every disappointment has been a sculpting force, invisible to the eyes of the world, but unmistakably present in the spirit. The spiritual meaning is clear. Divine timing is never hurried, but always precise. Seasons are orchestrated so that your revelation aligns with readiness. The enemy may try to accelerate or derail the process, but God's schedule cannot be disrupted. What feels late is perfect. What feels unfair is essential. The same hands that allowed the difficulty are the hands preparing your breakthrough. And there is a principle to understand here. Light exposes darkness, but it also reveals treasure. When God illuminates the plot against you, He doesn't leave you in despair. He uncovers the truth, but also uncovers your purpose. Just as gold must be refined in fire, your trials have purified your calling. The enemy meant the fire for destruction, but God transformed it into refining heat. Your faith, your patience, your obedience. These have been purified and sharpened like blades, ready to cut through confusion, doubt, and stagnation. Consider the imagery of doors. Many of you have knocked and waited, unsure if your opportunity would ever arrive. Those doors that stayed closed weren't a sign of neglect, they were divine safeguards. Some doors protect you from hidden harm, others guide you to unexpected blessing. And when God exposes the enemy's deception, He is simultaneously opening the doors aligned with your destiny. This is not mere coincidence. It is intentional orchestration. There is also a spiritual law at work. The greater the resistance, the greater the reward. Opposition is not always a reflection of weakness. Often, it is a reflection of value. What is easy is often fleeting. What is fought over is often eternal. The intensity of the opposition you experienced signals the significance of what God is about to entrust to you. This is a season where invisible favor becomes visible manifestation. Transformation is happening at multiple levels, spiritually, emotionally, and even relationally. The enemy sought to disrupt your alignment, yet God has used the disruption to reveal true alliances, refine your character, and increase your discernment. The hidden challenges were not punishments. They were calibration. They were adjustments to your spiritual frequency, so that when the unveiling occurs, your heart, mind, and spirit can receive it without being overwhelmed. And let us not overlook faith. Your faith has been your anchor. Faith is more than belief. It is action in alignment with truth, even when the storm rages. It is the trust that unseen hands are orchestrating events for your good. Faith is the signal to heaven that you are ready to receive what has been prepared. Without faith, the revelation could overwhelm. With faith, the revelation transforms into empowerment. Finally, the spiritual depth of this prophecy is about perspective. You are being shown that life is not a series of random events, but a carefully arranged tapestry. Every thread, every pain, every delay, every betrayal has been woven with purpose. The exposure of the enemy's plan is not merely to protect you. It is to remind you that your life is watched, guarded, and guided. You are never alone, never overlooked, and never forgotten. So when you encounter the signs, when you see the patterns, and when the hidden plots surface, do not react with fear or anger. React with awareness. Recognize the divine fingerprint on every circumstance. Let your heart rise with gratitude, for the revelation of the enemy's failure is also the revelation of God's relentless faithfulness. This is your invitation to see beyond the surface, to perceive the invisible, and to trust the profound intelligence of heaven. Every storm has meaning. Every delay has design. Every challenge has a lesson embedded in it. And when you understand this deeply, your life will no longer be ruled by fear or surprise. It will be guided by knowledge, discernment, and the unwavering certainty that what God ordains cannot be stopped. The spiritual lesson here is clear. Your breakthrough is not just about victory over opposition. It is about transformation into the fullness of your divine purpose. Every trial you endured, every plot that was laid against you, carries a lesson far beyond the visible moment. These seasons are never random. They are carefully orchestrated by heaven, designed to teach, refine, and prepare you for the authority you are about to step into. The enemy's interference was not simply opposition. It was a mirror showing you the depth of your faith, the strength of your resolve, and the hidden treasures within your spirit. Consider this: storms don't exist to destroy. They exist to reveal. The power of wind is not only in its force, but in the way it exposes the root beneath the soil. Similarly, the obstacles that pressed against your life were uncovering hidden strengths, dormant gifts, and latent resilience. Every closed door, every painful encounter, every unexpected loss, it was all a divine calibration. The Father's hand was moving through the unseen, aligning your heart, mind, and spirit with the season that is now dawning. This is why understanding spiritual timing is crucial. God operates in a rhythm that the world cannot comprehend. Seasons of silence are not emptiness, they are incubation periods. Seasons of waiting are not punishment, they are preparation grounds. What feels stagnant is actually fertile soil. What feels delayed is actually on divine schedule. And what seems painful is actually pruning, removing the distractions, the false supports, and the counterfeit alliances that would have hindered your destiny. The unfolding prophecy also carries a powerful metaphor for light. Darkness may have attempted to obscure your path, but even in the blackest night, a spark remains. That spark is faith, integrity, and obedience. When the enemy plotted, he sought to snuff out that spark, but the very act of plotting against you illuminated it. Just as the sun rises regardless of cloud cover, your purpose rises regardless of hidden schemes. Your light was never dimmed. It was intensified in the shadows. Doors that once appeared locked were symbolic of this spiritual process. Each closed moment was actually a test of your discernment and your perseverance. The enemy thought he was blocking your path, but God was training your eyes to recognize the doors that truly open from Him versus the doors that deceive and distract. This understanding brings clarity. Some opportunities are not meant to be pursued simply because they are available. They are meant to be discerned, weighed, and walked through at the appointed time. Every betrayal, every disappointment, every trial also serves as a mirror of character. It exposes patience where haste might have eroded integrity. It exposes humility where pride might have taken root. It exposes faith where doubt might have grown. These spiritual truths are far more valuable than any earthly reward. They form the invisible foundation upon which your destiny is built. The enemy's plot meant to harm becomes the scaffolding for your spiritual maturity. And there is a deeper layer to this revelation, the principle of alignment. God does not just protect, He positions. Your path is not only about avoiding harm, it is about walking in harmony with heaven's plan. Every obstacle removed, every enemy exposed, every hidden plot unveiled is a correction of alignment. Your spirit, soul, and life are being tuned to the frequencies of purpose so that when your season arrives, every step resonates with divine precision. This is the essence of spiritual transformation. Pain becomes preparation. Opposition becomes revelation. Waiting becomes empowerment. The unseen currents of heaven are moving on your behalf, whether you feel them or not. And the more you recognize the spiritual meaning behind the experiences you've endured, the stronger your faith becomes, and the more powerful your manifestation will be when the prophecy unfolds fully. So meditate on this. Storms are teachers, delays are tutors, plots are purifiers. What the enemy intended for harm, God intended for your growth. And what appears as chaos in the temporal realm is actually divine choreography in the eternal. Every lesson, every trial, every exposed plot is part of a larger symphony, a symphony in which you are both the instrument and the audience, and every note played resonates with destiny. By understanding these spiritual principles, your heart will be ready to recognize signs, respond to instruction, and embrace the transformation that is about to manifest. The unveiling is not only about external victory, it is about internal alignment. It is the revelation that your journey was never random, that your struggles were never wasted, and that your destiny was never out of reach. You are walking through a season of divine illumination. Pay attention. Your spirit is awakening. Your eyes are opening. And what was once hidden will now be seen not only by you, but by all who are meant to witness your elevation. As the enemy's plan unravels and heaven moves into alignment, subtle confirmations will begin to appear in your life. These are not coincidences. They are divine signals designed to assure your heart that God is orchestrating every detail. Pay attention, for the signs are often small, yet they carry immense weight. First, you may notice a sudden clarity in your thoughts. Decisions that once felt confusing or overwhelming will now carry a sense of unmistakable certainty. This clarity is not just mental, it is spiritual. The Spirit of God is aligning your understanding, illuminating paths that were once veiled in doubt. What you once questioned, you will now recognize with divine insight. Second, doors that were previously closed will begin to open with surprising ease. Opportunities may appear in unexpected places, people may return with sincere intentions, and circumstances will shift as if orchestrated by an unseen hand. These openings are confirmations that God's favor is moving on your behalf. Third, you may feel an unusual peace even amidst chaos. While the world around you may continue to shake, a calmness will settle in your spirit, a certainty that no matter what transpires, you are protected. This peace is a signal that the enemy's schemes no longer hold power over you, and that divine intervention is at work. Fourth, symbolic coincidences may begin to occur. Repeating numbers, recurring imagery, dreams, or prophetic words that echo the same message can appear. These are not random. They are heaven's way of speaking directly to your spirit, assuring you that the path you are walking is guided and confirmed. Fifth, relationships and alliances will reveal themselves with clarity. People who truly belong in your life will demonstrate loyalty, support, and alignment with your calling. Conversely, those whose intentions are self-serving or deceptive will gradually distance themselves or reveal their true nature. This separation is a form of divine pruning, clearing space for authentic connections. Sixth, you may experience sudden encouragement or confirmation through scripture, prophetic messages, or divine impressions. Verses, phrases, or insights that resonate deeply with your current circumstances are signposts from heaven. They remind you that God is not distant or silent. He is actively participating in your journey. All these signs work together to affirm the truth: the enemy's plan has failed. What once threatened to disrupt your destiny is now illuminating it. The confirmations are like footprints in the sand, showing you the path God has already marked. Each sign is an invitation to step forward in faith, to trust the unseen, and to recognize that divine timing is perfect. As you witness these confirmations, respond with gratitude, awareness, and readiness. Do not dismiss them as mere coincidence, for they are intentional markers of your alignment with heaven. They are not only reassurance, they are preparation. Every signal is a reminder that the plot against you is unraveling, and that your destiny is moving from the hidden realm into the visible, tangible reality. Even as the enemy's plan is exposed and the path of destiny begins to shine before you, there remain hidden challenges that will test the depth of your faith. These are not punishments, but refined trials meant to strengthen your character and prepare your spirit for what is coming. The road to fulfillment is rarely smooth. The greatest victories are born from perseverance through difficulty. First, you may encounter lingering doubt. Even though confirmations are appearing, your mind may question the timing, the fairness, or the magnitude of what is unfolding. This is natural, for the enemy still seeks to plant seeds of fear and uncertainty. Recognize these moments for what they are: tests of endurance. Each time you choose trust over skepticism, you fortify your spiritual armor. Second, opposition may take subtler forms. Not every challenge will be dramatic or obvious. Some will come cloaked in everyday inconveniences, delays, or misunderstandings. These are designed to see if your peace is grounded in God's authority rather than in circumstances. Your ability to navigate these quietly is a demonstration of maturity and resilience. Third, hidden enemies may attempt to exploit your compassion. People who appear supportive may carry hidden agendas. As God exposes the plans of the adversary, He also teaches discernment. Be vigilant, not in paranoia, but in wisdom. Let the light of truth guide your interactions. You are being trained to recognize the difference between alignment and deception, friendship and manipulation, loyalty and pretense. Fourth, the pressure of preparation may feel intense. The closer you draw to your breakthrough, the more resistance may appear. The enemy fights hardest at the threshold of divine elevation. Remember, these challenges are refining your endurance. They are shaping your patience, strengthening your resolve, and clarifying your purpose. Every moment of difficulty is like the sharpening of a blade, uncomfortable but necessary to cut through the obstacles ahead. Fifth, internal struggle may arise. Emotions that have been dormant, fear, insecurity, or anger, might surface as you face the revelations unfolding around you. These are not signs of weakness, but opportunities for transformation. Acknowledge them, confront them with prayer and truth, and allow the Spirit of God to realign your heart. Your inner peace is essential for navigating external challenges successfully. The overarching principle to remember is this: challenges are not contradictions of God's plan, they are part of it. They serve a higher purpose, ensuring that when your breakthrough arrives, you are prepared to steward it with wisdom, humility, and strength. The tests you endure now are markers of readiness, indicators that your foundation is being solidified for the blessings ahead. So face these hidden challenges with faith. Recognize them as temporary, strategic, and purposeful. Stand firm in the knowledge that nothing happening behind the scenes is beyond God's control. Even the tension, the confusion, and the discomfort are orchestrated by a loving hand to prepare you for the full revelation of your destiny. The enemy's plots may linger in disguise, but your obedience, discernment, and perseverance will ensure that their influence is limited. Keep walking. Keep trusting. The breakthrough is coming, and every hidden challenge you overcome today is a stepping stone into tomorrow's triumph. Now that the enemy's plan is being exposed and the hidden challenges are evident, it's time to step into divine preparation. God is calling you not only to observe, but to act with intentionality, obedience, and discernment. These instructions are sacred. They are not suggestions, but strategic steps to align your spirit with His unfolding plan. First, prioritize clarity of heart. Begin by examining your inner motives and intentions. Let go of anything that is not aligned with your true purpose. Unresolved bitterness, fear, or resentment can cloud judgment and delay breakthrough. Take moments of quiet reflection to surrender these burdens. Speak them aloud in prayer, acknowledging them before God, and allow His Spirit to purify your heart. Clarity begins internally before it manifests externally. Second, strengthen your spiritual disciplines. Daily communion with God through prayer, meditation, and studying His Word is no longer optional. It is essential. In these moments, ask for wisdom, discernment, and guidance. Pray for insight into hidden schemes and for the ability to see the truth in situations that appear complicated or confusing. Spiritual consistency will act as a shield, anchoring you firmly, even when external circumstances try to shake your confidence. Third, embrace discernment in relationships. Not everyone around you carries the same calling or purpose. Some will support, while others may unknowingly or deliberately obstruct. The instruction here is not to isolate, but to observe carefully. Seek counsel from those who demonstrate integrity, loyalty, and spiritual alignment. Allow God to guide your associations, pruning what is unnecessary and reinforcing what is faithful. Alignment matters more than numbers. Fourth, act with courage in obedience. Even when revelation is partial or clarity feels incomplete, take the steps God confirms. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is choosing to obey despite fear. Every small action taken in faith builds momentum for the greater steps to come. Do not wait for perfection in timing or conditions. Trust the guidance of the Spirit and move forward incrementally, knowing each act of obedience is being multiplied by divine orchestration. Fifth, cultivate gratitude and affirmation. Daily remind yourself of what has been preserved, revealed, and redirected in your favor. Gratitude tunes your spirit to recognition, allowing you to see confirmations you may otherwise overlook. Speak affirmations of faith over your life, your decisions, and your relationships. Declare that the enemy's schemes are dismantled, that divine protection surrounds you, and that your path is unfolding according to heaven's plan. Words carry power. Let them work in your favor. Sixth, prepare practically and spiritually. Organization, planning, and readiness are part of divine instruction. Align your resources, your schedule, and your priorities in a way that reflects preparedness for the opportunities being unveiled. Spiritual preparation and practical readiness work hand in hand. Do not underestimate the importance of both realms. One fuels faith, the other manifests it. Seventh, guard your peace vigilantly. The enemy will attempt to provoke reactions that distract from focus. When situations feel chaotic, when people challenge your resolve, or when obstacles resurface, remember that your peace is a sacred asset. Protect it with prayer meditation and deliberate focus on what is eternal. Let calmness govern your actions. The enemy cannot dismantle what is grounded in divine peace. Finally, walk forward with expectation. The instructions you have received are not theoretical. They are actionable pathways. As you implement them, the unseen realms are simultaneously moving to orchestrate encounters, align opportunities, and accelerate your manifestation. Keep alert, follow the Spirit's nudges, and respond promptly. Timing in divine instruction is critical. Hesitation can delay momentum. Take these steps seriously. This is not a season for passivity or uncertainty. This is a season for purposeful alignment, decisive action, and spiritual empowerment. Each instruction you follow increases clarity, reveals hidden opportunities, and strengthens protection. Every obedience is a reinforcement of your authority in the unfolding prophecy. The enemy's schemes may have stirred fear, doubt, or hesitation in the past, but the steps outlined now are your roadmap for victory. As you align your heart, mind, and actions with heaven, the failed plots of the adversary become the very catalysts that confirm your elevation. You are not merely surviving the exposure, you are being equipped to thrive in its revelation. Step boldly, act faithfully, and trust unreservedly. The divine instructions you follow today will manifest as the foundation for tomorrow's triumph. As you move forward, it's essential to remember that you are never alone. Divine protection surrounds you in ways unseen, enveloping your spirit, guiding your steps, and shielding your destiny. The enemy may have attempted to strike, but every effort against you is now neutralized by a canopy of heavenly oversight. You are safeguarded by forces far greater than any opposition you have faced. Imagine a radiant light surrounding you, a golden shield that nothing can penetrate. Every step you take is watched, every move is guided. The Spirit of God acts as both sentinel and guide, ensuring that your path remains aligned with His purpose. You may feel storms approaching, but within the protective embrace of heaven, you will walk unharmed. Obstacles may loom, yet they cannot touch the core of what God has ordained for you. Heaven has stationed angels specifically for this season of exposure and revelation. These messengers are not passive observers. They are active participants in your journey. They dismantle the schemes of the enemy before you even perceive them. They intervene silently, redirecting harm and transforming potential loss into opportunity. The protection around you is constant, a divine buffer that allows you to proceed with confidence even when the world seems uncertain. You may also notice a growing sense of assurance within your spirit, a deep, unshakable calm that comes from the recognition of God's presence. This assurance is a supernatural signal that your faith is anchored, that your obedience is noticed, and that every exposure, every revelation, and every alignment is unfolding under divine authority. Let this peace govern your thoughts, and decisions, for it is both a shield and a compass. Remember, protection does not always manifest as the absence of challenges. Sometimes it appears as the ability to endure them without being broken. Sometimes it comes in subtle guidance that keeps you from stepping into situations that would hinder your purpose. The assurance you carry is proof that God's oversight is meticulous, comprehensive, and unwavering. Even when betrayal or deceit seems near, the Spirit whispers truth and discernment. When uncertainty clouds the horizon, your intuition, sharpened by divine guidance, will steer you safely. You are not navigating these waters alone. Every moment of exposure, every confrontation with falsehood, and every test of faith is being monitored by the One who never slumbers. So rest in this truth: the enemy has no power over you. Their strategies are failing. Their attempts at obstruction are futile. You are enveloped in a fortress of divine protection where your mind, heart, and spirit are shielded from harm. Allow this assurance to settle deeply within you. Let it reinforce courage, peace, and confidence. As the enemy's plans continue to unravel, know that your safety, your progress, and your destiny are all safeguarded by the same power that orchestrates the stars and commands the heavens. You are not merely surviving, you are walking boldly under the unassailable protection of God Himself. Nothing can overtake you. Nothing can misalign you. Every step you take is directed, every threat is neutralized, and every moment is covered. In this assurance, find courage. In this protection, find peace. Now imagine the moment when all that has been hidden and refined finally steps into the light. The enemy's failed schemes are no longer a shadow over your life. They are the very foundation for your elevation. What was once a season of pressure, waiting, and exposure now becomes a season of transformation and fulfillment. You are moving from preparation into manifestation. Your spirit, once tested and tempered, is emerging stronger, brighter, and more radiant than ever before. Every trial, every obstacle, every betrayal you endured was a sculptor shaping the masterpiece that is your destiny. The divine hand has carved wisdom into your heart, resilience into your mind, and courage into your soul. You are no longer the same person who walked into this season. You are a refined vessel, prepared to carry purpose with authority and grace. Emotionally, you will feel a surge of liberation. The heaviness that once weighed on your shoulders will lift. Burdens that felt permanent will dissolve in the presence of revelation. The gratitude for what you have endured, coupled with the joy of what is now revealed, will create a profound sense of fulfillment that resonates through every part of your being. Your tears, your prayers, and your perseverance were never wasted. They were the soil from which your breakthrough blooms. Spiritually, your alignment with God's plan becomes unmistakable. The connections that are meant to elevate you will fall into place effortlessly. The doors that were previously hidden will open naturally, and your steps will be guided by the subtle yet undeniable whispers of divine direction. You will recognize the flow of heaven in every encounter, every opportunity, and every blessing. The transformation is holistic, internal, external, emotional, and spiritual, because God's work is never partial. It is complete. As this fulfillment unfolds, others will begin to witness the change. Your life becomes a testimony of divine faithfulness, a living proof that the plans of the enemy can never succeed against the will of God. Those who doubted, overlooked, or opposed you will see what the Spirit of God has accomplished. And it will not be out of pride or vengeance, but out of the undeniable truth of divine justice and grace. Your elevation is a reflection of obedience, patience, and faith. A sign to the world that God moves on behalf of those who trust Him fully. Feel the internal shift. Confidence replaces hesitation, hope replaces doubt, and a purpose replaces uncertainty. This is your transformation, a spiritual metamorphosis that radiates outward, influencing not only your destiny, but also the lives of those around you. What once seemed impossible now feels inevitable, and the alignment of your life with divine intention becomes evident in every step you take. The fulfillment that awaits you is not merely the removal of obstacles, but the full realization of your calling. The doors God has prepared are wide open. The resources you need are arriving, and the people aligned with your purpose are appearing at the right time. The enemy's failed plan has inadvertently accelerated your ascent, clearing the path for clarity, power, and divine favor. Stand ready to embrace this new reality. Let gratitude saturate your spirit. Let faith guide your actions, and let hope illuminate every thought. Transformation is not a momentary feeling. It is the total renewal of your being in alignment with God's eternal plan. And fulfillment is the natural outflow of this alignment, a manifestation of purpose, authority, and divine favor. You are stepping into a life marked by visible triumph, spiritual empowerment, and emotional peace. The prophecy is now tangible. Your journey of perseverance and obedience has borne fruit, and heaven's promises are manifesting before your eyes. This is your season. This is your elevation. This is your fulfillment. As you stand on the threshold of this new season, let these words settle deep within your spirit. Speak them aloud. Believe them. Allow them to anchor your faith and strengthen your resolve. Affirmation 1. I am protected, guided, and elevated by the power of God. Say it slowly, letting each word resonate. Feel the shield of divine protection around you, a fortress that no enemy can penetrate. This is your assurance, a promise written by heaven itself. Affirmation 2. Every plot against me is revealed and turned to my favor. Declare it with confidence. The enemy's schemes are powerless against the authority you carry. Every hidden plan, every secret opposition, every attempt at delay has been neutralized. You are walking in victory not by your own strength, but by the faithful hand of God. Affirmation 3. I am aligned with my destiny, and my breakthrough is inevitable. Embrace this truth. Your preparation is complete. Your transformation is real. What was once hidden is now emerging. Your path is illuminated, and the steps before you are secure. Every door that opens, every connection that aligns, and every opportunity that manifests is divinely orchestrated. Affirmation 4. Optional, I walk boldly in purpose, courage, and divine favor. Let these words guide your daily actions. Walk with confidence, act with intention, and step into every encounter, knowing that heaven moves with you. Your faith is your compass, and your obedience is your power. And now receive this blessing. The Lord Almighty, who sees all things hidden and brings justice to every heart, surrounds you with his light. The enemy's strategies cannot touch you, for the hand of God is upon your life. Every force aligned against your destiny is unraveled. Every shadow is chased away, and every step you take is guided by divine wisdom. May your spirit soar with courage, your mind be filled with clarity, and your heart overflow with peace. As the enemy's plan collapses, may your favor rise. As deception is exposed, may truth illuminate your path. As delays dissolve, may divine timing accelerate your breakthrough. You are not merely passing through this season, you are emerging from it, transformed, strengthened, and prepared for the destiny God has ordained for you. Walk forward boldly. Speak truth with authority and carry the confidence that comes from knowing your life is secure in the hands of the Almighty. The plots of the enemy are finished. The exposure has begun. And the blessings of heaven are now yours to receive. Amen.